The Unearthed Files. The United States has always been a land of grand narratives, heroes, revolutions, and triumphs. But beneath the polished surface of history, textbooks lies, a labyrinth of buried truths, secrets so dark they could unravel the very fabric of the nation. This is not a story you'll find in any official record. This is the tale of the darkest secret in American history, a conspiracy so vast, so horrifying, that those who discovered it either vanished or were silenced forever. It began in the winter of 1987, in a small, forgotten town in West Virginia. A construction crew, digging the foundation for a new highway, uncovered something they were never meant to see: a steel vault, half crushed by time, buried beneath layers of earth. Inside were files stamped with a single, ominous phrase: "Eyes only, Project Black Dove." Local authorities were called, but within hours, men in black suits arrived, confiscating every document, every photograph. The workers were paid off, threatened into silence. But one man, a foreman named Daniel Reeves, kept a single photograph, a decision that would cost him his life. The image showed a group of scientists standing in front of a massive, circular structure deep underground. At their feet were rows of human figures, not just bodies, but something else, something not entirely human. Daniel mailed the photo to his brother, a journalist named Robert Reeves, with a single note: "They're lying to us." It never ended. 3 days later, Daniel was found dead in his home, an apparent suicide. But Robert knew better. He began digging, following a trail of classified documents, whispered testimonies from retired military personnel, and the accounts of those brave or foolish enough to speak. What he uncovered was a horror beyond comprehension. Project Black Dove wasn't just an experiment. It was a pact, a deal struck in the shadows of World War II, between the U.S. government and forces far older, far darker than any enemy they had ever faced. And the most terrifying part? It was still active. The Oppenheimer connection. Robert Reeves' investigation led him to a name buried in declassified files: Dr. Elias Voigt, a physicist who had worked alongside J. Robert Oppenheimer on the Manhattan Project. But while history remembered Oppenheimer as the father of the atomic bomb, Voigt's name had been scrubbed from records. A single surviving journal entry from 1945 revealed why. July 16, 1945. Trinity test successful. But we were not alone. They came through, and now they want payment. Voigt's notes spoke of an incident at the Trinity test site, an anomaly in the sky, a rip in reality itself. Something had answered the blast, and in the chaos that followed, a secret meeting took place between high-ranking officials and something else. Robert tracked down Voigt's granddaughter, Dr. Lena Voigt, a historian specializing in Cold War-era black projects. She had spent years trying to reconstruct her grandfather's work, piecing together fragments of burned documents. Project Black Dove wasn't about nuclear weapons, she whispered over a dimly lit diner table. It was about harnessing what they found that day, a new kind of energy, a new kind of life. She slid a photograph across the table: a military base in Nevada. 1952. Soldiers stood at attention, but their shadows didn't match. Some had too many limbs. Others had none at all. Lena's voice trembled. "They promised us power. But power always has a price." That night, Robert's motel room was broken into. His notes were gone. And on the mirror, written in something dark and sticky, were 3 words: "Stop digging, or else." The Silent Village. Ignoring the warning, Robert followed a lead to a ghost town in Pennsylvania, Dryden Hollow. Officially, it had been abandoned after a mining accident in 1959. But locals told a different story. "They didn't leave," an old bartender muttered. "They were taken. Whole families, gone overnight. Government said it was radiation. But we know what we saw." What they saw, he claimed, were black helicopters descending on the town, men in hazmat suits dragging people away, and worst of all, things moving in the woods, figures that flickered like static on an old TV. Robert broke into the sealed town hall, finding records of a military quarantine. And then, in the basement, he found them, the missing, not bodies, not skeletons, eggs, hundreds of them, leathery and pulsating, embedded in the walls. And inside shapes, human, but not. A sound behind him, a whisper: "You weren't supposed to come here." Robert ran. barely escaping the town as something, many things, emerged from the dark. The truth in the White House. Robert's final clue led him to Washington. A retired senator, on his deathbed, confessed the truth. In 1963, Kennedy found out. He was going to expose it. That's why they killed him. Project Black Dove wasn't just an experiment. It was an infiltration. The things from the other side had been here for decades, hiding in plain sight. And now, they were in control. Robert prepared to go public. But as he uploaded his evidence, the screen glitched. A message appeared. "We see you." Then, gunfire. The broadcast. The video feed cut to static. Then, Robert's face appeared, bruised but alive. Listen carefully. They're everywhere. Trust no one. If you're seeing this, I'm already dead. But the truth won't die with me. The screen went black. And in the silence, a single sentence lingered. The darkest secret in American history isn't in the past. It's happening right now. What do you think Project Black Dove really was? Comment below, but be careful who's watching.